Hey YouTube, I just wanted to talk about regionals because I know you guys knew that I was going to regionals in Orlando, Florida on April 27th. Um, I went 4-5. Really weird matchups. I went expecting to go against meta. I was expecting like a huge meta push with Fire Fists, Mermails, and Evil Swarms, only to find out at the end of the day I ain't play any of that. I didn't know how to get around certain situations because the decks were just so different. And I really didn't go in against any meta. I went against a lot of tier 2. I did 2 tier 1s, but one I lost and the other one I won. What I'm proud to say about the event is that I never got 2-0'd, and that makes me really happy. It was always a 1-2 loss, and a lot of my wins were 2-0s. Half of my wins were 2-0s, so I think that's pretty cool. My deck was good. I think it was more of me was the reason why I lost. I misplayed in one of my losses, and that really sucks. I'll talk about that when I go on to the video. But the deck was good. It's more of the player, and that was me. Still kind of bummed out because my head wasn't really in it. So let's just get into it. Match 1 was against Dragoonity. Game 1, I beat his face in. I mean, like, it was rough. He had Red MD, Atum, and frickin' Stardust. And I mind controlled his Red MD. I mind controlled his Red MD when I had a Trag on the field, and then I used Trag's effect to discard my level 8 Ritual monster to take his Stardust. So I just took control of 2 of his monsters. I overlaid into Gustav Max, then special summoned my Seal Gigas and just beat his face in. It was rough. Game 2. He cited in Dimensional Fissures, and he always had them. I would pop his Dimensional Fissure with my MSC, that went through. Next turn he would activate Dimensional Fissure. I would pop that one. He activated his third one, and then I had my last MSD. I use it, and he what did he do? He did something, but he got me. He got me really good. And he had a Fossil Dino on the field, and that was rough. Game 3, I lost in time, and that really pisses me off. Because I think I could have won. Because I was on the last turn. And of course, I'm probably going to lose because I have to pay life points for Zeal Gigas effect. So I'm always at a disadvantage. But I lost in time. If 1 or 2 more turns had passed, I probably would have won, but time. You only get 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's how many turns you get. Match 2 was against Synchron. Game 1, he pulled out first turn Quasar. It was really gay. I didn't really have any answers, so I just said, you got this. Game 2, I beat his face in with 2 Zeal Gigas, and then overlaid for Gustav Max and burned for the last 2,000. So that was an FTK. It was awesome. Game 3, I drew no monsters at all. Like, none. I had 25 monsters in the deck out of 40 cards. Didn't draw any monsters, and 2 or 3 turns went by. So I had an initial hand of 6 cards, and then I had 2 or 3 draw phases. No monsters. It was ridiculous. It was really dumb. I couldn't believe what just happened. So that was a loss. Match 3 was Girgia Karakuri. Game 1, he didn't know what to do, and I beat his face in. Game 2, he got out his field, and I dropped a Trag, and a Gores, and he blew right through them, all in one turn. And I had 1,100 life points, and I activated System Down, and that banished everything, but I didn't have any monsters. I only had 100 life points, and so, well, I did have a monster. I normal summoned the monster, and I hit him, and I was hoping next turn that in his next turn he wouldn't have a monster, but he did, and he ran over my monster, getting me for the last 100. The match for game 3, his OTK was much faster. It was, he got me that one. His OTK was faster than mine. Match 4 was Chaos Dragon, and I beat his face in really badly. So that was, yeah, I'm not even going to talk about game 1 and game 2 for the Chaos Dragon because I basically OTK'd him. Match 5 was Hero. Game 1 he won. It was really rough because he did Super Poly and Absolute Zero, and I was just like, ugh. So he got me game 1. Game 2, I Fossil Dyna, the bomb. Game 3, he just wasn't drawing anything, and I was taking advantage of it. I was just beating him in until he scooped. Match 6 was probably my worst match. It was against Six Samurai. Game 1, I won. I beat his face in. He didn't know what to do. This deck took a lot of people by surprise. Game 1. Game 2, he always had Fossil Dyna or D-Fissure on the field. And it was rough because he always had the answers. I always got rid of it, and he always summoned another one. Something happened with the Dragoonities with this one though. I MST'd. I happened to have 3 MSTs in hand, and he happened to have all 3 D-Fissures in hand, and I MST'd 2 of them, and then when I try to MST the last one, he activates Musakani, and I'm just like, well, shit. That really sucks. So he had me game 2. In the game 3, I misplayed really badly, and I'm beating myself up over it. He was special summoning like crazy. I think he did like 3-4 special summons in one turn. And I had Max C in my hand, and I totally forgot it was there, and I didn't chain it. I didn't use it. And that really blew a lot. And so he made Beast, and I couldn't really activate any spells at all. Like, if I had drawn a Shadow or my Gorz or Trag, I probably could have ran it over, but he got me for perfect game. He made Beast, and then he attacked with Beast, and then next turn he made Beast in a Blade Armor. Match 7 was Gravekeeper. I should have lost this, but I won. I 2-0'd it. It was really weird. Very interesting. I won. I 2-0'd it. I'm not even going to talk about it, because I just 2-0'd it. Infernity, I can't deal with Infernities. Everyone has that one deck that they're not good against, and Infernity is mine. It's like my worst matchup. But I won. I was very surprised. Game 1, he did the whole loop, and he tore me a new butthole. But I returned the favor game 3, or game 2. I beat his face in with Zealgigas. And then game 3, he had set his entire hand, and then just set a monster. And then I attacked it, and then I Monster Reborned it, and he didn't draw anything that he needed because he couldn't activate any of his set cards. And so I just beat him with his Infernity Archfiend until death. And then match 9 was Hieratic, and game 1 I lost. Then game 2 I won. Then game 3 I lost due to time. I probably would have won because at that when we called time, or my final turn, which was the final turn, I had lava golemed all of his stuff, and I had Zeal Gigas on board, but I still had lower life points. I probably would have won in the next turn, but time. That's really my regionals. I just thought I'd do a little thing. I'm making Dino Fist now. I'm probably gonna do the contest when I hit 200 subscribers. So that'll be cool. Like, comment, subscribe.